Good morning on a Monday. I got Ben Hadley sitting next to me. We're talking about a few fun software things like Polestar talking about it, Tesla talking about it, and autonomous AI doing its own thing.
Everywhere I go, the people really want to know who I is and who I be. They stop and stare when they see me.
Turn that up
If
just
it's
a
once,
little
no
bit.
need to
There it
repeat.
is.
Run up on me, watch you fall to your
Ben, last week I had the most snafu-y moment that I've ever had on a podcast. It was wild. I started the intro music about a minute into the intro music. It was really sideways. Like I came in just so hot. It was like bum, 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 da, bum, bum, bum. It was nuts.
Wake everybody up. Let's go.
Wake everyone up. Let's go. How you doing, man? Well, I mean, we kind of been talking.
Can I just tell you, I'm awesome. But look at this microphone, okay? You know what? It took. Daily tell you this?
No.
Okay. I've been this thing has been tilted like this forever.
Oh, sideways.
Yeah.
All you had to do was turn it the right way.
Bro, but why? Paul Daly and I have done one podcast together. He pauses me. He goes, "Hey, bro, your mic
Check
is
your mic.
It's not it right now." I was like, what's going on? He's like, "I'm really surprised that, you've known Kyle for a bazillion years, used this mic for a bazillion years. He hasn't just stopped you and said, hey, quarter turn, 45-degree turn to the left is going to make a magical difference." How did you sleep on this?
Is I talk to you way more often than Paul does, right? And so
True.
I think it just, you just kind of like, oh,
now
that's
I'm
the way
just
he sounds.
left audio only for you.
Right. You're just a little bit in the left, a little bit thin, right? And I'm like, oh, that's the way you're supposed to sound in a mic. Yeah. That's crazy. Man, we have been doing a bunch of pods. Speaking of a bunch of pods, we have been releasing these In the Dirt episodes that we filmed at the NAMAD conference, which, one, if you haven't been to NAMAD, you got to go. I think you got to come with me next year. You got to come.
Yeah. Dude.
Two, the conversations that we got to have were unbelievable. My conversation with Subi Ghosh, Show Others the Possibilities is the title of it. Go to any podcast platform, search In the Dirt with a Sodu. You can't miss it. You got to be there. Also, one more little housekeeping note. On the 12th, that's this week on a Thursday, I think, we have an Asodu Edge quick shot webinar with Beth Caro of the National Independent Vehicle Title Agents and Eric Calderon of the MADA, just talking about like what's the CSI that has to do with the title department and how can they not get held back so much from doing their job so that customers cannot be mad and call in asking where the titles are.
One day I'll comment on my Rivian experience, which is 100% had to do with, dude, come on. They're slacking. Dealers too long didn't read. Don't worry about it. You're good.
You're good. We're going to be okay.
You're going to be great.
You're good. All right, let's get into it today. The Polestar CEO Thomas Ingenlath, there you go. That's a word. That's a last name for you. Believes the transition to software-defined vehicles, or SDVs as he calls them, represents a major leap forward in automotive innovation. He stresses that SDVs are not just a buzzword, but an essential shift as software takes a central role in shaping vehicle performance and user experience, particularly in a vehicle like Polestar's electric lineup. He sees enormous potential in these vehicles to connect features like how they drive, accelerate, manage energy systems. One of the delays actually in the Polestar 3 is because of the software complexity, similar to the Volvo's EX90, which experienced similar issues. Their sales goals have been impacted by delays. However, we are seeing that this software-defined vehicle has not just come to Polestar, as Audi recently has created a management role, particularly dedicated to what they're calling an SDV, or a software-defined vehicle. Ingenlath said, that is how much of an impact software has. It changes the physical behavior of a car. So software first instead of function first. Looks like is coming to vehicles a lot faster than maybe some were expecting or hoping.
There's a sort of an irony, right? Of like, we've never had cars be faster ever, than ever before. But then, meanwhile, the slowest part about them is the software. It's like software used to be the fastest thing, now it's software slowing us down. It's just odd to me. It seems very weird. Like this is a little bit of the software eats hardware, AI eats software conundrum, and then mixed with as things get more efficient, things get more fragile, and so you screw up a little bit of code, you screw up the whole thing.
Well, yeah, you think of the fragility that we experienced with just a few weeks ago, and with Microsoft stuff just going down across the world, especially with enterprise type brands, right? With CrowdStrike.
Little update. Oh, my bad. Yeah.
And you think about software-defined vehicles, autonomous driving, things like that, like the code standards that have to come with this, but also, and Paul and I have been talking about this, you and I have been talking about this for a while, is that software in vehicles was historically kind of an afterthought, right? As we got into like 2005, 2006, you started seeing like Bluetooth being the first real software that was being exposed outside of, the vehicle's actual function, where it was being exposed to the end user. Maps, right? Or late 90s, maps and early navigation. And now you look at these vehicles and they really are technology on wheels. We ran a story about Qualcomm a couple weeks ago, and just their business booming, particularly because of automotive. And I keep contending that consumers are going to start asking the same question that they are of their phones, which is which chip is in this phone? It's which chips are in this vehicle? What's the processing power of it? And how can I connect, manipulate, manage my vehicle software with my phone or with an alternate device?
100% agree. Yeah.
That's
Intel Inside all over again. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
100%, dude.
Well, speaking of advanced technology.
AI chip inside.
Segue.
Oh, the AI chip in there. Well, Tesla is continuing to advance wireless home EV charging through new patent applications that we're seeing out there. Tesla's wireless charging aims to remove the need to manually plug in your car, a convenience that aligns with its goal of autonomous driving. Wireless charging has historically been less efficient than cable-based options, but new methods, such as magnetic resonance, claim similar efficiency. Patents are revealing that Tesla's focus on solving technical challenges like ground leakage and temperature management are something that they're working on to improve efficiency. Chief designer Franz von Holzhausen confirmed work on a wireless charging pad with possible applications for the Cybertruck and other models. Wireless charging on a pad at your home. Whoa.
There's no way it's as efficient as plugging it in, right?
There's no way.
Doesn't matter. This is what I think. I got this little, I switched to Apple from Android. And what's that thing? Standby mode. You go sideways on a magnetic dock.
Go sideways, yeah.
Standby mode is sick. It's so good. The convenience of standby mode far outweighs the inefficiency of the charging, right? I know I'm getting a slower trickle of electricity to charge that battery, but all I do is boop. And I think what you're seeing here is how consumers will trade the exact same thing, right? I'd rather have an insanely convenient experience at the sacrifice of efficiency. Yep.
Pull in, get out of my car, and go in the house just like I always have, right?
Exactly. Yeah. No thinking. Thank you.
No thinking.
Done.
That's exactly it. Obviously like wireless charging for phones is something that we've been doing for a while, but you get charger to phone contact, and that's something that you wouldn't get with the vehicle unless there was some kind of mechanism to bring it up to the vehicle, which they're not doing. Right. So this is it's kind of a really interesting, like, why. Also, you look at the requirement for install on something like that, I just can't imagine that it's going to get to any sort of price parity anytime soon.
Oh, true. Yeah. It better be like roll a rug or like a rubber mat under over. Yeah. Exactly.
Plug that joker in. Right. You just take that thing with you, roll it up, put it in the back of your trunk.
We'll ship it in 2 days. You know how pissed UPS drivers are going to be?
Oh my gosh, lugging around this.
I hate this guy.
That's amazing. Oh, speaking of jobs that just can't get taken over.
Stop.
Segue.
Time.
Okay, that one was a stretch. But researchers at
That wasn't.
Stanford have developed Smallville, a game inside of another game featuring AI-driven agents that autonomously perform tasks. These agents are powered by large language models and demonstrate why autonomous AI will become essential for organizations. This is a conversation we've been having a lot over the last month, but this was reported middle of the summer, but we hadn't talked about it. AI agents in Smallville can remember, plan, and act independently, showcasing their potential to handle tasks like event planning without human input. These AI agents are kind of able to become team members working in and amongst each other. Rakesh Malhotra from EY or Ernst & Young emphasizes that most valuable AI agents aren't necessarily smartest, but with the best access to relevant data. The agent knows the most about me. The agent that knows the most about me doesn't have to have my personal data, but also my current context. So they're really trying to leverage like the context plus the data. Is it enough to kind of perform these tasks autonomously inside kind of like gamification setting?
I think, yeah. I think we
Ben,
need to
you've
figure out.
recreated yourself as an AI. How's that going? Let's just like go back to that real quick.
benhadley.com/AI if you ever want to chat to my clone. Yeah, I mean, it's gone pretty well. I do use it at least once a week. Hey, how would I respond to this? Like when I want to turn off my brain or I'm just like exhausted. I'll take like a email or something, throw it at me, like, what would I say? And then 85% right, I would say, a little bit of modification here and there. But I think that's the 85% that this is either going to be awesome. Okay, we either need to go for 100% accuracy, 100%, this is exactly what Ben would think. Or I actually think there's a reason that 85% is also the goal, because there's sort of like some of the best ideas happen when you are in the shower, or you're like at a bar with some friends, or they don't
Human
happen.
nuance. Yeah.
Yeah. And so there's this sort of like, I almost think we might look back on this period of time and find that the hallucinations that these AI bots have are actually a good thing. And that we shouldn't optimize them out. That actually, that is like creativity, where we just look at it as, hey, that's not what I wanted you to say. But eventually it will become like, oh, that's actually kind of a creative approach to like solving the same problem.
Right.
So I'm not sure where it's all going to go, but I do think like that clone isn't as useful as I had hoped it would be.
Sure.
There's a lot of effort to make it, and it's not as useful as I hoped. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and also not just that, but like this is a lot of what they've done in this game within the Sims in the Smallville world is kind of like load it with story of origin context. Like, what do you think? What do you believe? What do you know? And that is such a complex matrix that like also includes how your parents treated you at age 1.5, right?
Totally.
That informs your decision-making matrix at age 30. Or 40 or 50, or how you responded to a fight or flight incident, right? These are things that are not data-driven experiences that drive how you think in the shower, or how your complex dreams interact with each other and kind of like mix up your reality, yet provide you
100%.
with potential impetus, right? These are things that I think you're right, that if we can learn how to utilize AI at kind of a 75 to 85% of the optimization goal, and know that we always have to fill the 15 to 25% gap, it'll actually make us stronger. It'll get us even more creatively thinking. So
yeah,
wild.
I mean, if anybody wants a ChatGPT prompt or a word that helps ChatGPT sort of behave this way, the word is bicameral. Bicameral thinking, which is sort of like having two hemispheres of your brain, left side, right side, chat with each other. So if you go to ChatGPT and you're like, hey, I'd like a bicameral response to this logic, then basically what it will do is be like, well, the creative side of me would say this, but the logical side of me would say this. And then it'll like work through a dialogue. And you can kind of get like a little bit of an agent-y experience. Hashtag bicameral. Remember that word.
Hashtag bicameral. You didn't know you were coming for that today, but you're always going to get surprised with something from the man, the myth, the legend, Ben Hadley. And as Brian Ortega said, his AI clone will never be as handsome as him. Hey, this industry's full of a bunch of humans serving. Go serve today.